Have you ever wondered why some men are respected before they even open their mouths, while others are ignored no matter how much they know? Why does one man walk into a room and people instantly listen, while another says something brilliant and nobody cares? It is not always about money, power, or position. It is about how you look, how you appear to others in the first instant. The truth is harsh but impossible to deny. People decide who you are in seconds, and once their judgment is made, it almost never changes. And the cruelest part of all is this: if you look poor, even if you are not, you are already condemned. If you look poor, the world will treat you like you are weak, disposable, and unworthy. This is the law of appearances, and if you ignore it, it will destroy you. If you master it, it will give you more power than you ever imagined. And today, I'm going to show you why everyone's talking about looking poor is just the chatter of people who don't want you to know the truth. So before we begin, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'm sure by the end of this video, you'll have changed. Shall we bet? Let's start with the harshest truth. A man who looks poor is already guilty in the eyes of others. Guilty of failure, guilty of weakness, guilty of being beneath them. His words carry no weight because his image has already been judged. Imagine this for a moment. You walk into a shop in worn clothes, shoes with cracks, shoulders slightly bent, and the merchant sees you. In that instant, before you speak, he has already decided. He will treat you with impatience. He will offer you less. He will give you worse terms. Now imagine walking into the same shop in a clean jacket, polished shoes, head held high. Nothing else has changed. You have the same money in your pocket. But suddenly the merchant is eager, respectful, attentive. Why? Because of appearances. Because men do not deal with truth. They deal with what their eyes see. And if you look poor, you lose before you even begin. This law becomes sharper the higher you climb in life. In the halls of power, a man who looks poor is ignored, dismissed, ridiculed. Doors close before him. Allies vanish. Enemies sharpen their knives. Looking poor is not a harmless detail. It is a signal to the world that you are prey. Power respects the image of strength, not the truth of it. And truth is always too slow to matter. Image strikes instantly, before reason has a chance to interfere. A single glance can lift you, or erase you. That is why men who appear poor are erased before they even start. History is filled with forgotten men who failed not because they lacked talent, but because they failed to master appearances. The wise advisor whose words could have saved a kingdom, but whose shabby clothes made rulers dismiss him. The scholar who discovered truths, but was laughed at because he looked broken and weak. Their ideas were never heard because their image betrayed them. Meanwhile, lesser men, dressed in splendour, speaking with empty words, were celebrated, followed, and remembered. The world does not follow the truth. It follows the mask of wealth. Appear rich, even if you are lying, and the world will believe in you. Appear poor, even if you hold the key to greatness, and the world will spit on you. Look at the marketplace. A poor man in rags becomes an example to frighten others. People see him and think, this is what failure looks like. He becomes a living warning. But another man, just as poor, dresses carefully, stands tall, looks steady. Suddenly the same people treat him differently. They lower their prices, speak more gently, move aside for him. Both men may be broke, but one has disguised it, and because of that disguise, he has power. The lesson is simple. Men do not obey facts. They obey symbols. They do not respect truth. They respect appearances. To look poor is to invite humiliation. To cloak yourself in wealth, even if hollow, is to demand respect. And if you're feeling a little confused by my words, maybe even a little angry, imagine this and you'll understand perfectly. As you know by now, I have a Telegram community at the link below, where I help people get a second income on YouTube, and I also do a lot of Zoom with these people. If I showed up on Zoom with my hair messed up, my clothes torn, my beard unkempt, you'd immediately close the Zoom, even though I'm rich. However, if I showed up looking neat, maybe wearing a shirt, you'd give me your full attention, so it works for you too. Imagine your favourite YouTubers How many of them dress in rags? Exactly, none. Poverty is not just a lack of money. It is the presence of weakness, and weakness is blood in the water. Show it openly, and you invite the wolves. A man who looks poor is the easiest target. He will be insulted, cheated, ignored, robbed. His ambition mocked, his warnings dismissed, his dreams laughed at. But if he hides his poverty, if he wears even the illusion of wealth, the predators hesitate. They see the symbol of strength, and they fear it may be real. They hold back. That hesitation can save your life, and it can also give you the time you need to turn illusion into reality. Power is always perception first, substance second, and the one who masters appearances has already won half the battle. Even in war, appearances decide fate before a single sword is drawn. An army that looks ragged is already defeated in the minds of its enemies. Its allies lose faith, its soldiers lose spirit. But an army with shining armour, banners high, drums thunderous, terrifies the enemy before the battle begins. Spectacle is not decoration, it is a weapon. The same is true for you. If you look poor, you appear defeated before you speak. If you look rich, people assume victory surrounds you. They bow before the image, not the truth. They obey shadows more than substance. You might think humility will save you. You might believe modesty will be rewarded. But that is a lie told to the weak, to keep them weak. The priest may preach humility, but he bows deeper to the rich man in his church. The ruler may talk of equality, but he dines only with the adorned. The crowd may cheer modesty, but they secretly despise it. Appearances rule all men, even those who deny it. The poor man who shows his poverty is despised, while the poor man who hides it under the mask of strength is feared and respected. You must never forget this. Reputation is armour. Without it, you are naked. With it, you are untouchable. Think about first impressions. When someone meets you for the first time, they remember the image, not the words. If the image is wealth, they will forgive your failures. If the image is poverty, they will never forgive your success. You can rise in fortune, but the memory of your earlier poverty will stain you forever. People will whisper, "He was once nothing," and those whispers will erode respect no matter what you achieve. That is why you must cloak your weakness from the very beginning. Never allow them to see you eat scraps. Better to starve in silence than to let them watch you beg. For once they see your poverty, the memory will never fade. The truth is merciless. The world despises poverty, not because it hates the poor man, but because poverty reminds them of their own fears. To look poor is to become a mirror of failure. People recoil, not from you, but from the image of their own possible ruin. That is why they turn away, why they mock, why they scorn. To look poor is to remind them of death, decay, weakness. To look rich is to remind them of triumph, security, desire. Which image do you think they will embrace? Which one will they run from? Everywhere you go, this law operates. At dinner, silence falls when the adorned man speaks. The poor-looking man talks and his words vanish like smoke. In a negotiation, the rich-looking merchant is courted and flattered, while the poor-looking one is cheated and dismissed. In love, the man who appears rich wins devotion, while the poor-looking man is rejected, even if his heart is pure. Appearance decides all. Truth whispers, appearance shouts, and the crowd always listens to the louder voice. Even politics proves this law. Judges sit on high chairs not because justice demands height, but because men bow more easily to those who look above them. Politicians stand on balconies not because their words are better from there, but because men believe those who stand higher must be important. Life is theatre, and those who refuse to play are trampled underfoot. If you appear poor on the stage of life, you are treated as unworthy of the performance itself. You are erased. Some men understand this cruel rule and use it to escape poverty. They polish their shoes even if worn. They keep their coats clean, even if borrowed. They carry themselves with certainty, even if hungry. They invest in appearances as though appearances were gold itself, because they know appearances will buy them opportunities. By the time others discover their reality, the illusion has already done its work. Doors have been opened. Respect has been gained. Allies have been made. And once respect is secured, it can be converted into real power. Illusion first, reality second. That is the order of survival. But many men fail. They rely on pity. They hope their honesty will inspire sympathy. Yet pity is contempt in disguise. To give alms to the poor is not to honour them. It is to erase them quickly, to make them vanish from sight. The poor man is not respected when given charity. He is dismissed. He becomes an object, not a man. Pity is worse than hatred. Hatred still fears you. Pity only despises you. To look poor is to beg for pity, and pity is a chain around your neck. Think also of betrayal. Rarely do men betray those who look powerful. Fear restrains them. But when a man looks poor, betrayal is easy. Servants steal from poor masters. Allies abandon poor comrades. Wives despise poor husbands. Why? Because there is no fear of punishment. Weakness invites treachery. Looking poor is hanging a sign on your back that says, "Betray me without consequence." And betrayal comes swiftly when there is no fear. Even nations fall because of appearances. A country that looks weak is invaded, even if it could defend itself. A man who looks desperate is cheated, even if he has enough. Appearance invites aggression more than truth does. That is why you must cloak your poverty at all costs, not only for pride but for survival. Life is war, and appearances are your armour. Without them, you bleed before the fight begins. Every detail matters. The way you stand, the way you shake hands, the way your voice rises or falls. These are signals. The poor man slouches, hesitates, avoids eye contact, and the world instantly marks him as unworthy. The same man, if he straightens his back, steadies his voice, holds his gaze, increases his self-esteem because he started his successful YouTube channel, can fool the world into thinking he is powerful. And if the world believes long enough, it becomes true. Perception shapes reality far more than reality shapes perception. This is why rulers surround themselves with splendour. Thrones of gold, palaces of marble, armies in bright colours. These are not luxuries, they are weapons. The palace itself is a fortress of illusion. It convinces people their ruler is untouchable, divine, chosen. Without that spectacle, the throne is fragile. Even a king would be mocked if he appeared in rags. His crown would lose its power. The same is true for you. Without your symbols, without your cloak of wealth, you are not respected, you are dismissed. The world does not reward truth, it rewards illusion. The honest beggar dies forgotten. The cunning deceiver in fine clothes becomes master. Merchants lend to those who look rich, not those who are honest. Soldiers follow those who look strong, not those who are kind. Lovers choose those who look like providers, not those who are pure. Everywhere the mask is worshipped more than the face, and if you refuse the mask, you are erased. You must accept the cruelty of this truth. Time will not correct it. Time will not cleanse your image. First impressions fossilize. If you look poor the first time, you will always be poor in their eyes. If you look rich the first time, you will always be rich in their eyes, even when you stumble. That is why you must never look poor, even for a moment. Every glance at you is a judgment. Every judgment is a step toward power or a step toward ruin. You cannot afford carelessness. So guard your image as if your life depends on it, because it does. Guard your posture, your words, your clothing, your symbols. A wrinkle can be a crack in your armour. A tremor can be the opening your enemy needs. Men do not forgive weakness once they see it. They will chain you to that vision forever. But if you cloak yourself in strength, even borrowed, they will treat you as strong, and strength will eventually become real. For men believe so strongly in appearances that they will conspire to make them true. And here is the final truth. The world does not care about who you really are. It cares only about what you look like. If you look poor, you will be despised, ignored, erased. If you look rich, even when you are empty, you will be feared, obeyed, followed. Life bows not to faces, but to masks. And the mask of wealth is the only mask the world respects. Never forget this. Never ignore this. You may not like it. You may call it unfair. But it is the law that rules every man, rich or poor, ruler or beggar. You must obey it, or it will crush you. To look poor is to already be defeated. To look rich is to already be a step away from victory. The choice is yours. Which mask will you wear? Well, if you want to not only look rich but also become rich, join my free Telegram community, now with the link below. If you've gotten this far in the video, it means the techniques I'm going to teach you are working. So you better join, because YouTube is literally on easy mode now. Now let me know your ideas in the comments. I'll answer everyone. And if you want to help me grow, like the video and subscribe to the channel, so you can not only look rich, but also become rich. See you soon. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. This video is for educational purposes only, and any results depend on your own decisions and actions.